but it's also that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been really cool having people on. Especially if like they post about it, because it's like
Yeah.
like I feel like if you're saying that like, hey, I'm going on to talk about, the most important thing to me, or whatever, just be interviewed. I feel like
Yeah.
any of your friends would be interested in hearing, what you have to say, or whatever. So
Yeah, totally. Especially if you do it consistently and you're doing it like every Thursday, it's like, okay, like who does Thad have on today? Like,
yeah.
let me tune in.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Yeah. I don't know. I like it. It's and then it's like all of a sudden, obviously, it just like skyrocketed the Twitch streaming thing, and
What do you mean?
like
Like just recently?
in the past, like I would say 3 years,
Yeah.
obviously because of the pandemic. And what really inspired me, honestly, was Mad Decent, which is Diplo's record label. And he just
Okay.
had he had musicians on and they were from all over the globe. And it didn't even have to be good. It was just a channel. And to me, I was just like, well, this is really sick because it doesn't have to be games, like that's what it really
Right.
was. That's what Twitch was. It was mostly games, it was mostly just like all this stuff. So and then it turned into shows and it just went deeper. So and that's why I really like it. I think it's really cool. It's a channel. I feel like sometimes it's better than TV. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. Um my my dad, during like at the beginning of COVID, or actually it was for a while, or maybe it was before COVID, but he was streaming on Twitch Fortnite, and he got really good at it, and he he got like the computer setups, microphone, everything, and he was playing like I think at least 6 hours a day, and like hiring coaches and like practicing on like the empty maps on like building and everything. Like
Whoa,
he got really into it. He got really good. Um, but
that's crazy.
yeah, but it didn't continue.
No, he stopped.
But yeah, but can you hear like what's going on in the background, like babies
Uh,
and stuff?
like once in a while was something crazy,
Okay, cool. Word.
like
Um,
babies.
yeah, like babies and shit. Um, word. So, do you want to talk about the most important thing to you?
Sure. The most important thing to me. That's a
Yeah.
great question. It's a really interesting question because I feel like when you first hear that question, it's just like, oh, family, right? It's like the most important thing is family. But that's not really what I thought of. The first thing I thought of was like people and like how you treat them or how you're treated or how you interact. And I think that's the most important thing to me is like interacting with people that you don't know or you're uncomfortable or certain like awkward situations and how to take that and like how to take that to the next time you interact. Like we're always interacting with people,
Yeah.
so it's just like uh, I think that's just kind of important to me is connecting or not, or
Yeah.
how to really treat people, because obviously we should treat everyone well and great. You don't know what's going on in their life. So, and even if they're an asshole, you still like don't know what's going on in their life. So,
Mhm.
and I always think that I always like just want to be the best, when I like interact with someone, even if it's like, even if I'm having a bad day or something.
Mhm.
So I think, yeah, the most important thing to me is having a great interaction with people and maybe some experiences. if you're friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like um just like what you said about even if you're having a bad day, I feel like especially if it's like somebody you love, it can really be like a helpful sort of like wanting to show up for them can be like a really powerful way to like get yourself out of a hole.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah, totally.
It's
And that's like sometimes it's hard too, you know. It's just like it's I think it's easier to like feel down or be in like this hole or something, you know. Like for because for
Mhm.
me for the longest time it's like I I felt comfortable like putting myself down because if I'm at my lowest point, the only way is up, and then I'll just learn from that. But it's like that's not a way to learn, you know. It's just like why am I going to make myself feel way worse? But that's just kind of how I coped with things if something happened, you know. So I don't know, it's important. I think it's just really important to like learn and grow from there, you know. So I've gotten better for sure. Just
Yeah.
like yeah. So
It's
it's a really good question.
yeah. Like what is the most important thing to you? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, totally.
And it's cool too cuz it doesn't like you can't really like you can't help but kind of feel like you have to answer it sincerely.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
right.
so cuz like you can't give some bullshit answer and just be like, "Yeah."
Well,
Um
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, but I also didn't want like a generic answer because it's just like because and also I feel like don't overthink it. Just like whatever comes to mind is like, and that's what came to mind, I guess. But then I
yeah.
was overthinking it. And I was like, well, family, you know, like family's
Yeah.
really important to me, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously it is, but like, nah, I think interactions really important
Yeah. Yeah,
and how you treat people.
I think even like the smallest I feel like even prior to interactions but also like what I noticed is the most powerful part of an interaction is my state. Like
Yeah.
like the
Yes.
state that I'm in
Right.
is like even in the simplest interactions to the most complex seems to be the guiding force
Yeah.
of the conversation. And I found it kind of it's like, well, fuck, that's a lot of responsibility. But it's not just like a me thing, it's like an everyone thing.
Yeah,
You know what
totally.
I mean?
Yeah, especially if it's like you don't want to go to this place or you don't want to go to this party or you don't want to see this person. It's just like it's up to you to give out that energy to have a good time or everyone's going to feel that energy and no one's going to have a good time and it's like
Yeah.
on you
Yeah.
because you're not having a good time. It's on,
Yeah.
it's just like you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get out of that headspace
Mhm.
and just go have a good time, because like life is fucking short, dude. It's super short. Like people don't even know it. We're kind of in our own worlds, our own bubbles until some shit happens. And it's just like, man, you feel invincible maybe sometimes, but it's like, nah, everybody's a human and anybody could go through anything and wake up or not wake up. It's important.
Yeah. So, what do you feel like when you said interaction, like I feel like that's something you can apply all the time and always sort of work on, you know?
Mhm.
Like do you feel like that's
Yeah,
something you're always working on?
totally.
Yeah.
I'm always working on it. It's the same thing of like going into it, state of mind. Like some people are really good at it, and maybe that it took them a while to get to that point of like, all right, we're gonna get up, we're doing this, we're gonna, you know, be in a good mood and treat everybody with respect and be happy and do the best we can. So I'm always working on that. I'm always working on like trying not to be negative because it's so easy for me to be negative. But, like nobody
Yeah.
sees that but me. It's like in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like just always working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever feel like like even prior to interaction, like you can almost have an effect on someone,
Yeah.
like just it's literally like your state, and it's not like a contrived thing, like you're trying to be happy, but and I know that's not what you're saying, but like I think people pick up on each other's states like uh
Yeah.
very deeply, even if it's like sort of subconscious.
Well, yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's like, because sometimes like you can give your best self or whatever. And,
Or whatever.
and then, but then you could like not be in a good mood or something
Yeah.
and try to be happy or whatever, but they know your real self, they know your
Yeah.
real like energy, so it's like even if you're trying, like they can sense it, they can sense like you know maybe you're not happy, you're not in a good mood.
Yeah, yeah. And you
So
can't fake it,
no,
which is
I can't
cool.
fake it. Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
But we're all human, like we
Yeah.
go through it. I was in a
Yeah.
bad mood yesterday, just bad mood. I woke up in a bad mood. I was just like, this sucks. I gotta find another artist to go on tour with to get money. Like I had my whole year planned. It's just like it just
With poor
sucks. Now
Stacy, your whole year was playing with poor Stacy.
yeah, the whole year. But it's like I don't want to fucking play with that fool. Like he sucks. He fucking sucks. He's the worst. Like, the music's cool. The music is a hell of a workout for me, and I love it.
It looks like it, yeah.
But you know, it's not about the money. It's not about that. It's about like having a really good time on tour
Yeah.
because you're traveling with these people, you're with them, you're living with them. And that's the experience of tour. That's like you go out there and let's explore this museum that I'm never going to go to, probably in like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. It's like tour is so special. And like you just see certain parts of this country that no one does. And this
Mhm.
guy doesn't give a fuck. Like he doesn't care, and it's like I don't want to be with someone like that. I don't
Yeah.
care. Go do your own thing. I'm going to go do my thing. So it
Yeah,
just
yeah.
sucks that I had to like wake up and like, you know, message people. It's like, my year is like free, so you can, hire me. It just sucks.
Yeah.
So, but whatever. I'm in a better mood today. So,
Nice.
yeah, just go through it. Whatever. It
Do
is
you
what
ha-
it is.
do you have things that get you out of just like get you out of those moods, or like help you see more clearly? Like I don't know, is cleaning the house one of them for you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely cleaning is one of those things. It just like keeps my mind off something. I can listen to a podcast or something, which is nice. But I think like me looking for stuff, me like grinding and if I get one email back that's positive or like someone notices like that I said something, that puts me in a better mood. That's just like, okay, you know, this is all it takes is this little bit of like effort, even though it like to me I don't want to seem annoying, but it's like it's my job, I have to hustle, I got to do it. And
Yeah.
people are looking for drummers all the time. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just going and doing it. So that puts me in a
Mm.
better mood as if someone like messages back or something. I don't know. But
What's like the first like what's like the thought pattern, or like the first like descent into like shit mood? Like, are you ever able to sort of see that first thought that kind of starts it?
it's more like, yeah, why do I do this?
Yeah.
Why do I play drums? Why do I play music? Why do I go on tour? Because it's like
Oh, that's the thought.
that's always the thought. It's like, why am I doing this? It's just a hustle. You go and you have to do it. And yeah, I mean,
So
I love it, but I
so
hate the
what
work.
what answers why you do it?
Um,
Not like what's the answer, but what in your experience answers it?
there's nothing else in the world like it. There's no job like it. I mean, it is a job, but it's not. It's entertainment, and I love entertaining. And I love playing shows, and I love traveling, and I love it. There's nothing like it. So, you know, you just gotta hustle and put in the work, even though you do it every year, because it doesn't change. You gotta do the same thing. And like some
Mm.
years are better than others, but you know, you just gotta do it. If you want to keep doing it, you want to keep playing, you want to keep entertaining. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And I've always wanted to do it. I've wanted to do it since I was 16 and I'm doing it. But, it's fucking hard. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm feeling like I need some like, obviously I'm I'm like 21 and thinking about what I want to do,
Mm.
and the only thing that seems like obviously my life could go in any direction, but the only thing that seems, at least from my perspective now, like viable and something that I could like do successfully is like playing music.
Mm.
And I'm like kind of, I feel like hitting this point like um where it's like I kind of have to consider like everything that like comes with it.
Yeah.
Like, because the way I got the Surfer Girl gig, I hit up Carter. I was like, "Yeah, I play bass," and then it was like super like there wasn't work. I mean, not that I haven't work, like put in like hours or practice or anything, but I think my mind kind of had it as like, oh, it's just gonna be like that. Like, I'll just hit someone up and they'll like go to my page and be like, "Word."
I mean, like sometimes it works like that and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a gamble and it's an up and down emotional roller coaster of
Mhm.
like, yeah, I mean sometimes I get a gig where it's like, you know they'll hit me up or I hit them up or we meet at a party or whatever happens and it's just like cool, let's go on tour now, and it's like, but it doesn't happen that way like a lot of the time.
Mhm.
But you do have to just put yourself out there. You do have to go and do it. And
Yeah. I feel like I
yeah,
need to exhaust some other like, or like try some other avenues of like effort, you know.
right.
Um,
Yeah,
but
you get creative like the more you keep doing this. It's like, I don't know, like make a reel or just, I don't know. It's all kinds of things. All kinds of
mm,
websites too, like just different stuff people post. So,
mm,
yeah, I don't know. It's work though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
It's obviously paying off for you, or not paying off in the. It just like it's just obviously like worth it to you,
Yeah,
which is
totally.
cool.
And yeah, it's not for everyone either. And like some people I know that have done it and they're just like, eh, I need a real job now, because it's like, it's very inconsistent sometimes, especially if you don't have like a band that always tours, or if you have an artist that wants you to play all the time with them, that's like the jackpot, is playing with someone forever
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, but things always change in the industry. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just you're describing about how it's there's nothing like it. From my small experience, it's totally like it just resonated when you said that. Like being on stage and just feeling like for me, it literally felt like we were in like a big lung, and like it felt like the crowd and like us and the lights and the smoke was like it just felt like it was just a breath. Like
Yeah.
I just felt like we were being breathed. I don't know. Like it felt like
Yeah.
it was all just happening like for us. Like I felt like the crowd was just as much a part of the experience as us and the music, and it was like
Well,
it was
that's the
just
best
like,
part.
dude, there's nothing like this. It felt so like raw and like on the edge of just like
Hmm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
have a word for it, but
Well, it is like you're playing for the crowd and the crowd is giving back that energy. And so you're playing with each other. And there's then, like I said, there's nothing like it on the planet where they're having a good time and you're having a good time and you're putting your energy out and then they're like giving it back and they're dancing and you see different people everywhere, they're having like different like experiences, someone's like can be arguing in the corner that you can see, or like someone's dancing or
yeah,
there's like people moving, there's all kinds of things happening
yeah,
all in that instance, in that very moment. And it's like, there's really nothing like that in the
mm,
world. So
yeah,
it's super crazy. But, you know, I'm going to continue to do it. Let's see what happens.
yeah,
Of
yeah. You sound pretty clear about that, so that's cool.
course.
What do you feel like the most clear reflection of that has been for you? Like your best show, or like I don't know, could
Um,
even put words to it, or just something that was I don't know. I remember you telling us about like this tour you had that was just like the most fun tour ever.
yeah, I mean, I was touring with NoMBe, this artist NoMBe, and it was like Sirius XM puts on these tours with like, I don't know. I think there's NoMBe, Mickey. It's like 3 or 4 bands on this bill, and you just travel around the US. It's called the Advanced Tour or something. Anyway, and so everyone shared a front of house and a tour manager, and which means like we all paid for one guy to do the same thing every night. And so they all split it, and then we split this tour bus together. Well, their labels did, and then also like the sound. So um we'd never met each other. I knew of some people like the artists and stuff, but there were 13 of us on this bus and it only fit 13 people. So, our tour manager is this large, like Scottish guy, Doug, and he's super rad. Then we had Tim, who was our front of house, this giant redhead. So these like just these tall guys, who they were a little older than us, probably like, I don't know, 37, 38. And we just got along so well. Like everybody had different experiences. Doesn't matter who was going to bed, who was staying up. Like everyone just, we got along so well. And we became like best friends from it. It was probably one of the best tours I'd ever been on. We became best friends. Like we just did stuff together. We played every night. We helped each other. You know, it was like a really fun tour that I'd never been on. And it's like that shit never happens. You know, tours never happen that way. But we all became like best friends. And I'm still really good friends with all of them. And, you know, they're incredible artists, they're incredible musicians. And yeah, that was just like one of the best times of my life, you know. And it's like the crowds weren't even big, but it didn't matter, like, because we were all hyping each other up. We were all like having a great time. You know, we all loved each other's music and it didn't matter. It wasn't like a competition, you know, it was just like we're here to support each other. And that's what it is. That's what music is. That's what artistry is. That's what musicianship is. Like, and I think it like gets, you know, really lost out there with like being competitive or like what does it look like online or how does your social media look or you know what I mean? Like that shit doesn't matter because that shit didn't exist, you know, until now. But you know, it's about supporting everyone because we're all in it together and it's really hard. Like being in the music industry is so hard. It's not it's not easy. So that was just like one of the best times I've ever had, you know. A lot of
Yeah.
laughs, a lot of fun. It was
Mm.
great. It was a really good time. I love all those guys. So
How long was it?
it was a month.
Wow.
Yeah. You just like nobody was in a shitty mood. Nobody's in a bad mood. Like you woke up, you know, like you just we just had the best time like ever. It was so awesome. And it was like there was a guy like Mickey Echo, you know, like he wrote this song with Rihanna Stay. Like the dude is extremely successful and that didn't even matter. Like no one gave a shit. He didn't give a shit. He wasn't like, "Oh, I'm like this princess, you know, I write hit songs." Like it wasn't like that at all. It was just like we do this. We're doing it together. Like
Hmm.
we're in it, which is awesome. Like that's the way it should be. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's why I do it because I want to feel that again. I love touring. I love like exploring and being with people because we're doing it for music and entertaining. You know, you meet all kinds of people on the road. So, yeah, I love it. I'd never change it either. So,
Hmm.
yeah, it's really cool. Really good time.
I remember. I remember we were in. I can only reference one experience. One experience because I've only toured once. But it was still profound for me. But I remember we were in Charleston having breakfast. Do you remember that? I think it was
Yeah.
breakfast or lunch. Um, was there someone else sitting with us? No, it was just us. Um, and I remember just like sitting at the table with you guys, and like, well, this happened a few times, but I just remember this time. I just remember feeling like so grateful because like I didn't really like I knew you guys, but I knew you guys for like a week at that point. But
Yeah.
it just felt so like special and almost like rare. Like it just felt like how did I end up here? Like just just like
Yeah.
and I remember literally being at the table just wanting to start like crying, just like like so much gratitude just to be having like breakfast with these three people that are just like total homies and like not just like it just felt so full and it was like nothing like I've ever experienced, so my mind couldn't
Yeah.
couldn't get in there. It was just like totally being there because it was so new to me, and
Mm.
I was
Yeah.
just like, this is like so freaking special, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And that's tour. I mean, that's like your, like something that you've never done before or like your first time touring, and you're just sitting there having a moment. And that stuff happens all the time, just eating breakfast or like just waking up. And it's just like,
Like,
I'm on tour. Like, this is what I do. This is my job, like this is wild.
yeah.
It's wild.
And it's crazy too, like being like just being somewhere that you've never even been, and it like doesn't like it's cool, but it's also like totally relaxed at the same time. Just like
Yeah.
oh, was watching a fucking IMAX movie in Raleigh, like like
I know.
it's
I
like whoa,
know.
like this is so cool. Like we're just in Raleigh. I have no idea where I am. We're at an IMAX movie, and then we play like a show tomorrow or something.
Yeah.
And it's like it's so casual and so extraordinary at the same time.
Absolutely. And honestly, like Carter's so good at what he does and he's so professional and it's like he wants to get there on time. He gets there on time. He gets there earlier than on time. And if you're a band that's like opening the show and you're just like support, you have to do that stuff. Like that's important. It's not just like, oh yeah, we play a show, this and that. Like it's like the details of it too, and Carter's really good at it. And Carter, like, it's really cool watching him interact with his fans and like talk to everyone and talks to everyone, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
he's just really good at what he does. And sometimes, and like comparing that to Stacy, to where it's like the complete opposite. Like, he's always an hour late, doesn't give a shit about his show, will definitely give you the worst quality of merch. Like there's just no thought about it at all. And that stuff goes a long way, especially to your fans. And if you have like a lot of fans that really care about you and really love you, and like whatever words you're singing, they relate to that stuff, they love that shit. So that's also like, I think really interesting too, is like the production or the details of touring as well.
Mm.
It is about the show, but it is about like, yeah, like all aspects, merch, talking to people, because you're selling it, you're trying to make money, like especially if you're an up and coming artist or someone who hasn't toured that much with this group. It's like a bunch of stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, I was super. I mean, I don't have anything to compare it to, but I was super impressed with Carter and just really admired his like attitude. Just like totally on top of his game,
Yeah,
and like,
totally.
but like
He's
with
super on top of it.
yeah, but and with such a like in such a positive way, and like he just knows what he wants,
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
which I thought was really
He
cool.
does it really well. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's cool to, yeah, do it with Carter as well, like to play with Carter. But it's interesting because my, so Honor met him at a party. That's like how they met. And, and he knows NoMBe. So that's like kind of how it started. But that's another thing where it's like, I did an audition. He wanted a drummer. And then we like just started playing, then that's how it went really. So it's like sometimes it happens that way and sometimes it doesn't. But
Yeah.
I didn't even meet Carter until I went to Maine to like meet him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Never met him. Yeah. And then we just started rehearsing. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy.
That is
You know,
crazy.
it's just wild how sometimes it works that way. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Did you know Nothing Nowhere? Did you know that band?
No, I didn't. But they
No.
were cool. They sounded super pro and like super like,
Oh yeah.
like tight.
Super tight. That drummer
Yeah.
was crazy. He was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that drummer, his name was X.
That was his actual name.
And he just goes by X. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's Xavier, Xander. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. You
But
you just named all the X names.
he's super cool. Yeah, started to get a little bit more tighter, like throughout out tour. It's hard sometimes, but yeah, it was cool. That was a cool tour. I wish it was a little better, like Stacy's attitude, but it was
Yeah.
cool. Those shows were really great. Like I never played House of Blues in Chicago, and that was so sick.
Really.
That's a
What was sick
beautiful.
about it?
It's just there was like five stories,
Oh
and
wow.
it was just beautiful, and it was old and it'd been there forever, and you had to load your gear through this tunnel, like underground. This of It's like a hotel and House of Blues and just like a bunch of shit, and it looks like Batman. It's just like all these like crazy tunnels, and it's mud is everywhere. And that's like I guess where they did film the new Batman. Come to find out,
Seriously?
yeah,
Oh
and
wow.
super cool. So, um,
So it's not like Batman. It is.
it is
It
Batman,
is Batman.
yeah. So, but it was cool. It was just beautiful. It sounded amazing. It was sold out. It was just
Oh
like,
wow.
yeah, it was
And
one of the coolest places.
wow. What was the capacity there? Like over 2,000 or something?
Yeah, it had to have been.
My friend Pat, who was at the show in Boston, said I saw online that Nothing Nowhere had a Lamborghini door like open into their trailer behind the bus. Were you there for that whole thing?
Yeah, that was in Miami, actually.
Can you explain that? I don't get it.
Well, there was a Lamborghini in Miami. I think that's what he's talking about. And it was a guy who parked there, or he crashed into it or something, where he like opened his door and it like hit the trailer and it damaged his car, but the guy was drunk, so they just let it go. So he was drinking and driving, he was fucked up.
Yeah.
And I mean he ruined his door, but the silver lining is that he was drunk, so he couldn't like call the cops or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
The silver
he
lining
just
is that he was drunk.
he yeah, 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 that did happen. I forgot if it was like, no, I think it was his fault. I'm pretty sure it was his fault. I don't really remember the story, but yeah, the trailer and the Lamborghini in Miami. Miami was wild. I think we played at Gramps. It was one of the shittiest shows I think on the tour for sure. It
What
was
makes
like
this show shitty for you, or like what was shitty about it?
there was no energy. Like everybody's just standing there. And like
Mm.
Stacy's from there, and it's just like these kids were
Mm.
just like standing there, like no energy at all. It was super small. It was like one of the smallest stages, and it was just like a whack show. Tampa was whack, Miami was whack. Like just nobody wanted to party, it just
Mm.
didn't want to do anything.
Weird.
Yeah, really weird.
Damn.
But no, Boston was sick. Denver was really sick. Chicago was really sick.
Where'd you play in Denver?
We played um
Like the
we
Belly
played
Up?
in Inglewood,
Hmm.
which was I don't know, like 10 minutes from Denver or something. No, we played this theater. I forgot the theater. Um, but that was beautiful. That sounded amazing. And it felt really good, you know. So that to me is what feels like a really good show, and it's my favorite. Is if it feels really good, and if the crowd is like wild. So also Utah was really good. That was sold out too. And fucking okay, so we're going to Utah, right? We're in Silver Lake. We're in Salt Lake City, and all of a sudden I like see Cody from the elevators.
Really?
And so we have our van, and then there's another van coming in at the same time, and I'm just like, "Yo, that looks like Cody."
Like where was this on like you guys pulling up to like a building or something? Like,
Yeah, it's a venue called the Complex, and it's like there's a huge stage on one side, and there's like another huge stage on. There's like three stages in this building. It's called the
wow.
Complex, and they're on tour with Stick Figure, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
we pull up the same exact time, and I was just like, no way. And it was the elevators. They were there. They played that night. I saw them that night, and then I went to play my show.
Dude, that's sick.
It never happens ever. So it was cool. We chatted. I saw everyone, and we were just like hanging out. They had a great
Dude,
set. It was sold out. Like they had a great show.
wow.
Yeah,
That must have been like, dude. Oh my god, that would have blown my mind.
it was awesome. I was like in this sea of people. It was really cool. It was really cool.
Wow. And
Yeah,
then you
Nick
played
is
your
awesome.
what is?
Nick the drummer.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's super nice. He's super cool.
Yeah. And then you played your show that night?
Yeah. They played at 8 and we played at 9.
Same
And so
stage or they a different stage?
different stage. So I went to
Wow.
go see them, and then they came to see me, and it was just like,
Dude.
yeah. I was like, what is happening? But that also again, that's tour, dude.
That's
That's tour.
tour.
Yeah.
Man.
Crazy.
That is like the biggest mind fuck.
I know. And Carter texted me too. Carter was like, yo, the elevators are playing. Like, and I'm like, how did you even know that? Or how did you even know where I'm playing? You know?
Yeah.
But he just told me, and I was like, I just saw Cody, like, just now.
Dude.
That was, I know.
I saw I think you posted on your story that, you were at an elevator show.
Yeah, that was
And
the
I
same
was just
night.
like, huh, like they must just be in the same city, but the fact that it was even more like the same venue is
Yeah,
even crazier.
I know. I don't think Johnny remembered me. Like, I think he kind of just woke up, and he's like Johnny, and he's like super nice, and then he's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, good to see you." And then I had my guitar player Eunice, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, good to see you too." It's just like, you don't know him. You've never met.
Wait, who said good to see you first?
Johnny said
Oh,
that
okay.
to my guitar player, but I just
Yeah.
thought it was so funny.
Dude, that's awesome.
I know.
Man, that's really making me want to like go on tour.
I know.
Um, I met Unis. I went up to
Oh,
him.
you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't really meet the bass player. I mean, yeah, the bass player, but yeah, I just told him like you guys sounded good. I was gonna be like, dude, I know Brittany, but I was like, nah, like, I don't know.
I mean, you could have for sure because it got crazy in the end. It was just like our stuff was on the side. It was sold out. Like there was just people everywhere. And I was just trying to move I was trying to just get everything packed because like that to me is the most important after shows like because I have so many pieces just to get the pieces in the places and then be done so that we can load out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that to me is just like one of the most important things after a show is like putting everything away. Because like
Yeah.
people will just take something or you just misplace something. And it's like, I don't want to buy that again.
Yeah.
Just don't. Yeah. So yeah, really good
Um,
show.
there was this band, the Wailers played down the street from where I am now. This place called the Cabot Theater, and it was a few years back, but some of the guys that I play with were opening up for the Wailers, and
Nice.
it was the guitar player was I think it was Al Anderson, the original Wailers guitar player, and someone just walked out with his guitar after the show, and
Oh.
I think I don't remember. I just remember like I don't know. Like I was kind of backstage because I was like hanging out with like my friends that had opened up, and
Mm.
we just like heard something about his guitar's gone and like no one could find it, and I guess someone saw someone else just walking down the street with a guitar, but like I'm pretty sure they got it if I remember correctly.
Wow.
Um, but
See?
yeah, it seems like shit like that can just happen. So
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in the crowd. There's so many moving parts, and like someone can just take a laptop, you know, it's like really easy. Cause like if you're like, oh yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm just gonna put my stuff over here on the side of the stage and then I'm gonna go drink, you know, it's just like no one's paying attention. Everything's loud, the show's going on, like people can just take your laptop, take a wire, take a guitar, like, and then just walk down the street, you know, like I'm
hmm
done. That stuff
yeah.
happens all the time.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just crazy stories about like even San Francisco. Ugh, that's the worst city.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst city. You have to take all your gear and put it in the hotel. Can't leave anything in the car. You will
Really?
it will always get stolen every time.
Like someone will break into your car.
Yes.
Wow. Like break the window?
Break the window, break whatever. Doesn't matter. They'll get the especially like people know like people tour and like they know what they tour in. So there'll be people like who follow you. That's happened to bands all the time. People get followed, they break the lock on the trailer, everything's gone. That's happened so many times to bands. It's crazy.
Have you ever gotten stuff stolen?
No,
Nice.
knock on wood. No,
There you
no.
go. So it seems like music's really important to you.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
It's super important. I mean, it's it's like a language I'm really good at, you know. And for the longest time, it was a language where like that's all I could communicate with people because it was hard for me to like articulate something or it's hard for me to explain in words how to express myself, you know, because I was like a super shy kid growing up. And so the only thing that really connected me was like me playing drums and me showing people like this is me, like this is who I am, this is my jam, you know, this is like what I do. Um, you know, fuck with me.
I'm a fuck with you.
But it's gotten better, obviously. I've gotten older. I know how to talk now. So
Yeah. So do you, like it like what I'm picking up or what it seems like to me is that that's one of your most clear ways of interaction.
yeah, and connection. for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with other people too.
Yeah. Like the right people. Well, not the right people, but it's like music is like there's a lot of really amazing people in music. People who love music or play it or whatever. It's pretty important to a lot of different people for different reasons. And so, and I want to be like a part of that in people's lives or whatever. So, yeah, that's my way of connecting with people because I love musicians, I love artists, I love people who love music just as much as me. Even if I guess even if they're not an artist or something, it's like music lovers.
It's just something that it's like the thing I love about concerts. It's like everyone gives up being unique for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like everyone,
Yeah,
it's like you just kind of give up trying to be somebody, and it's like you're at a show or playing a show. Like it just feels like this huge like relief. Like playing with you and Carter was like it felt like especially when we would all just kind of like look at each other. It was just like one expression.
yeah,
And I also feel that too, or like just going to shows, like it's like every like no one's there like talking about like opinions and stuff. Like
right.
you know, it's just like everyone. It's like agrees to be. It's like everyone agrees to just let go into the same thing, and it's just like that moment of the music.
Yeah, and people like that's their release. That's where they're gonna go. That's like where they're gonna release their inner. And it's funny because like people will go dance, and they don't care who's looking at them. They don't care how they're dancing. They don't care if they're off beat, but it's their release. It's their like they're going there to let go. They're going there. It's kind of like, going to church or something. It's like, you're going there for this experience. And sometimes it's spiritual. And it just kind of depends, but music is so powerful. And it kind of sucks sometimes where it's like the industry gets in the way. It's kind of like an underground band that are so good and then they just turn into like this pop monster or like some sort of, they kind of like what's the word? They kind of get I forgot the word, but it's like right there on the tip of my tongue. But whatever. Like they make a hit song, but
Indoctrinated
no, they kind of just like no.
into the music industry.
They sell out,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like they were this like maybe Maroon 5 or something, right? Like fucking great band, like made really good songs and then now they make shitty songs. It's like
Mm.
sometimes like, the music industry does that, but for the most part, music is super important. And there are some good people in the industry, but it's like it's a lot of bad ones, unfortunately.
Mm. I just have to say I love and like just admire how much you love music.
Yeah, thanks.
Like like to me that sounds like the most important thing to you, or like a big facet of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's also music is like a gateway to, whatever's going on in your life or something. Like, I mean, I had a good childhood, but my parents fought all the time. And so music was my escape. I would go play drums for like 10 hours a day
Wow.
because it was like the best feeling and there was nothing like it, you know, and I could just get everything out. It was my release. And and I loved it. I mean, I still love it, obviously, but I loved it. I love playing. I would just play for 5 hours, go in the house, get water, and go back out there for 5 more hours. Like I love it. It's so important. And, not a lot of kids like have that maybe sometimes. But I was lucky enough to have that. And it's important. It really is important to me. I love music. So, you know, yeah.
Wow. Um. Well, I guess this is what I asked to Carter. I mean, unless you have more you want to say, like I don't. I feel like that you couldn't have wrapped, or like you couldn't have just stated, you know, like everything that you did any better. So
Yeah.
unless there's more you want to say or anything. I have two quick questions, but do you
No,
want?
just thank you. Thank you for having me, I guess.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah.
great.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Um, so funny, like funniest tour or like weirdest or just like tour memory you've ever had, and like also like the funniest or weirdest or whatever uh memory you have from tour in October.
Um, so tour, weirdest thing or
Or just like anything that you'd want to kind of tell that's crazy or really funny or just the craziest thing that's ever happened to you on tour. I mean, what you said about me in the elevators is pretty freaking crazy, but
Yeah,
if
no,
you have
that was
anything else.
cool and I love that. Craziest thing. Um,
Or like
having s-
funniest thing or whatever.
I think for me the craziest thing was having someone withdraw on tour and
Like
having to deal with that from
like
drugs.
oh,
Literally withdraw from drugs. And I've never experienced that. So that was wild and not
like
fun.
can you like explain a little bit more? Like what
Like
drugs and like what and like
just opioids,
yeah.
pills. And they didn't want to do it anymore. So, or they just didn't have any. And so they're withdrawing the whole day.
Was
And they
this like
have
one of the
like,
players? Like
yeah,
what instrument did they play?
it's just someone. I'm not going to say the name, but it's just
Oh, okay.
someone. And, I've just never like experienced any of that stuff. So I had to like help them like take the edge off, I guess. So I got something for them to take the edge off and it was just like it was wild. I was just like what am I doing? Like what are we doing here? We're supposed to be playing music and like going on tour and you're withdrawing like this is just too much for me. So it was, that's a roller coaster of emotions.
Wow.
So that was just weird and wild and that's never happened. And then what was the other question? The
Just
weird.
like the same question for the tour in October
Oh,
that we did.
October.
Yeah.
Probably like being in North Carolina and eating at a South African restaurant. That was so good.
Yeah.
with pigs and animals, and
Yeah.
it was just like this is actually a really beautiful little nook in North Carolina, and we had from like a South African chef too.
Mm.
That was that was pretty cool, actually. It was pretty wild.
I you know how I met Adi Ashanti right after the tour?
Yeah.
I I was telling him about that night, and I was telling him and his wife, and we were just like in their living room, and they were super just, quiet and listening to me. And I was just telling them about like the sort of just like all the really like magical parts of the experience, like the ducks and shit and the
Yeah.
pigs. And I was telling them the story, and I just like my face started trembling, and they were just like right there with me, and I just like my eyes welled up, and I was like kind of holding back, like crying. Um, and I just kind of kept like my face was trembling and stuff. And then Adi Ashanti was just like, just let it out, man. And I just like cracked up, like laughing and like crying like so hard because I was just getting so in touch with like the quality of that night.
Yeah.
Um, and I just like bawled, but like I was laughing too. It was really cool.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but yeah,
That
that
was a
was a,
special night.
yeah. And we partied after
I know.
with all those people we'd never met
Never
before.
met. Nope. Jamming, playing music.
Yeah, it was dope.
That was dope.
Word. Um, well, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of
This is
course.
really, really cool. Really fun.
Su- It was super cool. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Can you shout out Cure Habitat or let people know
Of
what's
course.
up?
Yeah, it's just Twitch. I'm on Twitch. Cure Habitat is the radio show. Um, Sometimes we play games or we just talk. And then yeah, just Brittany Mac is all of the social media stuff. Two C's,
Yeah.
two T's, A and Y, Brittany. But yeah, no.
Macarello, is that your full last name? Right?
Yeah, that's my last name. Yeah,
Cool.
full. But that's it. Yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
Awesome.
Come say hi. Come hang out.
Yeah, and hire her if you need some drums. Word. Well, if you want to stick a well, like after the call ends, I'll just be playing maybe like a couple more songs, and then I always end it with a guided meditation. So
Cool.
you're welcome to stick around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you. It's so good talking and catching up, and
Hell yeah.
yeah,
It was a good time.
yeah. Word.
I'll
All
talk to
right.
you. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.